Hello everyone, I haven't done a video for quite a while, so since it's 2015, let's start with one. And we are going for something new, and this is the Bandai America Level 3 Sprukit Batman from the Arkham City version. Now, for people who is not quite familiar with it, Bandai America is trying to break back into the action figure model kit scene again, since they have stopped doing major work with importing Gundam model kit into the West. So they're trying something new by making their own model kits. Well, when I say make their own, as you can see there, designed in Japan. So they have done the right thing, since most people who is familiar with Bandai America's attempt at toys and stuff would usually tells you that they're usually inferior to the Japanese equivalent. Usually cheaper to aim at the younger market, but usually end up not as collector friendly. So let's have a look at the instruction. So the instruction looks pretty standard, and you will notice it's all in color, and it's slightly simpler than the MG Figure-Rise, but I think it's a good thing because sometimes the MG Figure-Rise sometimes add in gimmicks that doesn't really make sense, or gimmick that not a lot of people actually want. So you can see that it's separated by head, torso, and it's color coded. It's also separated to limbs, weapons, and and the bases as well. Oh, and there's a fabric cape here. But yeah, it's all in color, so it is intended to be very user friendly, even for beginner. And you can see some of the construction here. There's no internal frame. Like most MG Figure-Rise, there's no real internal frame. The only one I know of that is that MG Figure-Rise has an internal frame is probably Wild Tiger and Barnaby Jr. I think the rest of them are similar to this, which is 2 to 3 parts with master grade level joints for various places. So it's an attempt to recreate the external. There's no internal to talk about. But yeah, good thing is that they have supply base. So here is the finished result of the level 3 Batman. Now, first of all, I have to apologize. I tried to change the lighting quite a few times, but no matter what I do, simply because of color of Batman, his face is always washed out by the light. I tried switching off all of the lights, and that's the only way you can actually see his face. But yeah, at which time you can't actually see any of the other detail. But yeah, so just a quick look. I'll move the camera closer. I would look at it in detail. So Batman here is molded in, as you can see, a light gray. One piece of plastic that is actually flesh color. Oh, you can see his face now. Black, several golds specifically for the for utility belt, and a metallic gunmetal black plastic for the arm guard, the arm strap, the leg guard, the leg strap, and the base of his shoes. So that's one thing actually I'm surprised. I thought that it's going to be just 4 colors, just the gray, black, fashion color, and the belt gold. And then as it turns out that they do one extra color on it for one whole spruce, which is pretty nice. But yeah, sticker wise, there's only 2 stickers, and that's the eyes. And one fabric cape, which is not fabric, is a very thin piece of polythene plastic, and it's feel a bit cheap. The cape is cheap, I have to say. I'm going to change it over. And again, a bit of a kids-friendly feature. So the spike on the back of the arm is actually blunt, and so is the tip of the mask. But yeah, it looks pretty nice, and there is a reasonable amount of detail on the suit. So some of those seam lines and what are they called? I think they're wires, aren't they? They're wires for structuring and strengthening. Don't really know what they call. But yeah, the arm guard for the Arkham City Batman is a lot more mechanical. It's a more mechanical gauntlet, and you can see quite a lot of detail on it. And so is the glove, and the belt is pretty detailed. It's composed of multiple pieces. One thing that I don't really like though is the fact that they have the joint right at the point of the belt, which means there's unnecessary seam lines there. Yeah, nice creases and a lot of muscle detail on the abs, on the thigh. Again, a lot of detail on the leg armor. Some little picture, pulse of area. The shoes are pretty nice as well. And there is a shin guard here as well. And even bottom of the shoe, there's still some detail there to indicate soles. Now, since I know that we can see the head sculpt here, the head sculpt is okay. I still think that this chin is too big for the Arkham City Batman. Arkham City Batman doesn't look that doesn't have that really square face feature. I think it's a lot more natural. This is a really animated sort of style feature of Batman face. And the eye stickers, to be honest, is not the best, but it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough, and reasonable amount of molding for molded creases on the capes. And if you look a bit closely, there is a molded pattern on the cape, but the biggest problem here is that the cape is just very non-descriptive. Is what I want to say. There's no crease on it compared to the plastic molding. So I'm going to change it over to proper fabric. So that's some detail of Batman in general. Articulation-wise, it's pretty good. Let's see, head is on a ball joint to turn left and right. Not a huge amount, but there is a swivel to actually go up. There is a neck joint which allows it to actually fold forward a bit and backward a bit. The cape is actually attached to that, so that it goes along with it, as you can see. The cape itself has two pieces of on each side swivel out to give the arm a bit more movement. The arm is in the ball joint as well as a swivel on the inside of the body and the swivel at the shoulder, so the arm can do a reasonable amount of pose and more than what most people can do, and can go outward like that, and because of the joint in the inside, the arm can go forward like that as well. Cut swivel beneath the shoulder, double hinge elbow for reasonable amount of joint, ball joint for the wrist, but doesn't really, it doesn't really wriggle, but because of that it can swivel. Ball joint at the upper torso and ball joint at the lower torso, so Batman can lean forward a bit and backward a bit, and he can twist his body for a bit of natural poses. So you can swivel that way, swivel that way. Yeah, never mind. The hip is on a V-bar that is jointed in the middle, and the leg itself is on a swivel. I think it's a ball joint. No, it's not. It's a peg to a swivel and to a swivel. So you can do most poses. So without pulling the leg down, you can do that much. By pulling the ball joint down, you can go a bit further. And with that, you can also lift the leg a reasonable amount and backward a reasonable amount as well. Swivel underneath the hip joint. Again, double hinted knee. As you can see, there is a bit of a shin guard, and there's a swivel up here into a polycap swivel joint, which goes straight down into the leg into another swivel joint. So 3 swivel joint, very similar to the SH guard. So you can go forward, go backward, you can turn, and it gives you a bit of sideways movement as well. So yeah, overall the articulation is good. And for your mid-air poses, you have a basic stand. The basic stand really is just a piece of stand, a solid arm with one piece at the top, which can be unplugged into vertical 45 and the vertical upward. And yeah, I'm not quite sure why you want to do that, but yeah, it's 90 degrees. Most people would just use it for 90 degrees and sometimes probably 45 upward. But yeah, it pegged to the back of Batman, and you have to remove the last piece on the utility belt, and then you can plug it in. And just for convenience sake, there is a bit of feature here, so you can actually plug this part in here, so it wouldn't lose it. So there we go. So if you want to have your Batman in the mid-air poses, now you can. Now Batman comes with several accessories. So, but first of all, let's talk about hands. We have 2 closed fists. We have a open hand for the left arm. 2 holding hand. The Batarang, the hook shot, and other another gun thingy. I don't know what it is. And we have the I think that's the spray gun for tracking, isn't it? I can't remember. I haven't played the game yet, but yeah, it seems to be a canister for spraying thing. So yeah, reasonable. Each of the arm can hold the gun, any of the gun, no problem. As you can see. And for the hook shot, the hook can be taken off to imitating this being fired. My bigger question still is, what is this gun? But yeah, all of them attached to Batman very easily. Just unplug the arm and put them in. But yeah, so this is basically it. What do I think? I think this is pretty good. This is a very good attempt for Bandai America. I have a suspicious feeling that if this is successful, they're going to import it into Japan, probably improve the mold slightly at certain point, and then sell it under the MG Figurize line. And if the line is actually successful enough in America, we might see more. We might see some revival of the Gundam model as well in America. Personally, I hope it will succeed. I really want to see more model kits available in the West. Here in UK, model kits nearly die off. There is effectively only the older community, the mature community, who is still very keen on the diorama, the railway, the military, and then you have the Warhammer. That's it. There is no mid-age market, the teenager or the kid out market seems to be completely die off in the UK. And I really do hope that this will actually be one of the ways for model kits to actually survive in the West. So this is basically it. I'm gonna paint him up sooner or later, and when that happens, I'm gonna post again, or I'll put a few photo, a bit of screenshot or gallery. But until then, join me next time for another review.